straight from the realm of all things gaming. Everything Noob starts now.
It's the 109th episode of the Everything Noob podcast. I am Vortak, video and streamer of the video and the streaming and the games. I don't know, I had something there. And joining me this evening,
Mr. Dreadlow.
welcome.
How's it going?
Good.
Yep. And yes, I'm also a streamer, YouTuber, and game lover of all types and games.
And games. And this is a podcast about video gaming, if you hadn't guessed. And every week we pick a theme. The theme for this week is gaming social networks. Something a little bit different. And also it could end up being kind of a shorter show. We're coming up on Christmas and the holiday season. A whole bunch of games just got released. A whole bunch more games are about to become released. And that generally means between times there's not a whole lot going on in the world of gaming. So we've been noticing these gaming social networks cropping up. And I think there's some cool stuff to be said. And I think what I really like about them is even if you're not a gamer, this kind of can relate to you. At least what I kind of have in mind. I don't know about Dreadlow, but I have some things that kind of make me think about this a little bit more big picture outside of it. But the first network I want to talk about is Player.me, which is a new gaming social network. They're trying to get some traction, get their start.
It's actually still in beta. So,
Yeah.
but it's still there. Anybody can, you just apply and they'll respond and let you get in.
Yeah, you apply to get on this network, which is that's a pretty interesting way to do it, but it's a beta.
I think that's why.
I'm wondering if we should keep it that way almost, because people make so many accounts just for
True.
the sake of spamming and stuff like that. I wonder how many Facebook users are actually Facebook users.
Yeah. How many Facebook accounts do you have?
I have
I'm
one.
just kidding. Okay.
But I'm just
I do.
talking in terms of spam accounts. There's just
No, I know.
Twitter especially. Twitter's the big one. But I'm sure they won't keep it that way. It's just for beta. What I love about Player.me, that's the website, Player.me. It's different but it's awesome. So let's say you're someone who likes watching this live stream, or you're someone who likes watching YouTube videos in specific about games. And you have all these things you have to keep track of. Okay, the person I follow makes videos on YouTube, they go live on Twitch, and they're always doing other stuff. They're on Steam playing games, and they're, starting groups and getting people involved. And I have to go on 3-4 different social networks to keep up with them. Player.me takes everything you do and puts it on one timeline.
Yep. You even see tweets and things like that in there, I think.
Yeah, you can link your Twitter.
From your Twitter.
So you don't even have to have Twitter open. You can just follow all your favorite people if they're on Player.me. That's kind of that's the one drawback. People need to use it. But it's cool. So far, I really like it. I follow a couple YouTubers on there, and my feed is nice. It looks really nice. It's all thumbnails because it's all videos. They post YouTube videos a lot, and they'll have other little social media updates in there. But it's mostly YouTube videos.
And I think it's really neat, too, because, we've been always talking about how YouTube kind of screwed up the subscription.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, and with this, you just tell your viewers or whatever you're on or whatever you're doing, go to player.me / what your name is, whatever it might be. Mine's Dreadlow Gaming, and yours is just Vortak?
Yeah.
Yeah, just Vortak.
I made one for Everything New, but I haven't set it up yet.
Yeah, and so you could go there, and all your current videos are there. I mean, you click on it and show it. Now, I don't know if how that would affect the viewer count of your video on YouTube. I'm sure that it links up, so I'm sure it'll still count as a view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just basically brings you to the video, as any embedded video, does. Even if it just opens up in the browser, it counts as a view. You can go to YouTube and like the video and whatever, and comment. And you can just interact with people on it too, just straight up, just like Twitter.
Oh yeah. It's awesome for that. It's got all those features.
Yeah, I really, really like it. And I haven't been paid in any way to say anything. They contacted, I think they contacted me just inviting me to it, or I forgot how I learned about them, to be honest. But what I did do is I replied to one of the emails I got from Sean, which is the person who runs it.
Right.
And I just asked them about, like, what they're doing, and I was really excited. And they got back to me. It was really cool. Like, the guy who runs player.me responded to me and, was just basically just being nice and responding. I was asking about his blog and stuff like that. You can go on their blog. I'm hoping they do more with it. I haven't seen an update in a little while, but I'm hoping they implement this feature. You can write a blog post for them and submit it. And if they like it, they'll publish it.
Oh, see, now there you go. And that's another way of
that gets, and you can link to your stuff in it, and that's just another way to get your stuff noticed by like all these people. There's your outreach. Social networks, the reason people use them to grow is because you can reach outside of your followers. So on Facebook, you reach outside of your friends when your friends share something with their friends. Same with Twitter, when something gets retweeted.
Right, but this is for a specific audience.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like about player.me. It's
you could take something and share it on your timeline, just like Twitter, but this is just another layer to that.
Right, and it combines all the additional social networks that you might be a part of into one website, so you can just, rather than having your own website that doesn't get any outside influence other than what you promote, right? Yeah. Like if you got your own website, in order for people to know you have a website, you have to like promote it. Whereas player.me is already promoted, and you can search for people, you can do whatever on there. So it's already kind of got the viewership, and the people coming to check things out. And so you won't have to, you just tell them who you are, and they can find you on there, and they get all the links to everything you got. I just think it's really an awesome little setup.
It's what I love about it is like you and I were talking about it a little bit before the show started. And what I really, really like about this social network and just other gaming social networks in general is that it's specific to a niche, like gaming. You go to player.me because you are a fan of video games. Whether you play video games, whether you watch other people play video games, whether you make videos about video games, anything video games goes on this site. And that makes it different than Twitter, because Twitter is for anyone. And you tailor your Twitter account to whatever you do. So for Everything Noob, we talk about video games. For myself, I talk about video games, and there's some personal stuff in there too, but mostly video games. And the people who follow me are going to be people who are just interested in that. And that works. That's fine. But I wonder if we're going to start seeing more social networks crop up, because ever since MySpace went under and Facebook kind of took over, everyone's like, I wonder what the next Facebook is going to be. You ever have that conversation with someone?
Yeah. And I was thinking Google Plus would be the obvious, replacement. Yeah. But it's still kind of neck and neck with it, so I don't know what's going to happen. Although there's a lot of people who really hated on Google Plus for a long time and just thought it was just, stupid. And then now it's like it seems to be a lot more popular. It links your YouTube up a little bit better, and it's easier to get things out to people who watch your videos, rather than Facebook. Facebook, you just get buried. And again, with these social networks, you have to promote it yourself, because unless somebody's actually specifically searching for you, it's harder to get to your social media, and that's what's so cool about player.me. But, with that, there was always gaming networks. I mean, we got Raptor, which was even Xfire started their own little thing going, where with Raptor, what you do is you're part of this these people. It's a social media network that allows you to connect with other people that are playing games, but also when you play games, Raptor rewards you with in-game stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And they've kind of got a relationship with Steam, with some of these gaming companies to allow that to happen. But it never really took off. None of these things kind of really took off, and I'm really hoping player.me is going to be one that will take off a little bit.
Yeah. See, Steam is another one I want to mention here in a sec, but no, you're absolutely right. I think the main thing I'm thinking today, just looking at these other social networks, is I wonder if this is the direction social networking as a whole is going. where people don't follow people on one massive social network that apply to their niche. So people aren't going to follow me on Twitter because Twitter's too broad. Eventually Twitter dies. What happens next?
Not everybody has a Twitter account, especially
but
gamers.
more people have Twitter accounts than have player.me. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Player.me shouldn't be focusing on getting more just people. They should be focused on getting more people who love video games. So if you have the Player.me app on your phone, you're going to, that's your social network. That's because this is what you follow. You're not interested in Twitter because it's too broad. It's too whatever it is. You're not interested in Facebook because it's people posting pictures of their pictures of their family vacations.
Yeah,
things
or whatever.
like that. And that's kind of
bunch of selfies.
I wonder if we're doing it all wrong. Like Instagram and Pinterest are all about photos, sharing photos.
Right.
Tumblr's all about sharing blogs. But those are just general things. Those aren't specific. That's just a blog,
And for somebody like me or you or whatever, that means we have to have an account for every single one of these things, which is fine and dandy, but your business card's going to look crazy. You're going to have all these links to all these different social media networks.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I got
exactly
an Instagram, I got a Pinterest, I got all these. You got a whole list, You got to have it on both sides of your business card.
Go to anyone's website and an indie dev. Pick an indie dev, go to their website, and if they know how to do a website anyway, they're going to have a dozen social networks at the top because they want to be
some
everywhere.
I've never even seen before. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
What is this? I never heard of this. But yeah, there's tons of them out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be something for everything, And I'm not just talking about player.me alone. I'm talking about there needs to be one for people who in specific types of businesses.
Yeah, no, you could do a whole social network about marketing. And there are blogs about marketing. The problem with that's actually a really, really horrible example because
it's
marketing focuses on getting yourself everywhere and getting yourself in front of new faces, whether or not they want what you're doing. So, and that's what social networks are used for primarily is marketing. People are using them to market to us, the people who aren't using them to market, who are just using them to interact with their friends. And I guess in the sense of YouTuber markets, but this is going to go, I'm going to derail like crazy here in a second. Let me pick something else. Cooking. Let's say that you're someone who likes cooking and you want to share your recipes with the world. Well, instead of going to Twitter and using #cooking and hoping that one new person maybe sees that hashtag in your tweet, instead, you'll use the cooking social network, Cooksmith. I don't know what the hell it'll be called. And you'll go on there, and now you're interacting with people who are interested in finding recipes, or other cooks who want to share their recipes, or people who make YouTube videos about cooking, or what have you. And I think that's a much better way. It's targeted. Now you're reaching out to you can open that feed up. People won't mind it. You know how Facebook, you'll see things that from people you don't even know, and they act like it looks like a post a friend made, but you're not friends with this person. It's just there in your face. You don't care about what the hell it is. Twitter's starting to do it too. I'm seeing favorites now in my stream. That favorites are supposed to be for, I favorite something when I want to maybe go back to it or whatever. And I'm seeing favorites in my Twitter stream. I don't care about these people. I don't know who I don't care who my follower or someone I'm following favorited. Neat.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that too. I get so and so followed. I don't care who they followed.
Yeah, exactly. So, but now, if you have a targeted social network like player.me for video games, you can open up that stream because it's going to be about something they want to see. So, if I'm following Paul Swears Jr., he's someone who makes YouTube videos on Minecraft. If I'm following him, but in my stream, I start to see something from CNanners, another YouTuber of video games. Even though I'm not following him, I appreciate seeing that. I'm like, ooh, who's this? And I can watch one of their videos.
Right.
But if I see a tweet...
That's something about, PayPal, or I get a lot of PayPal tweets for some reason.
Yeah. If I see a tweet about PayPal, I'm not going to... I'm not going to click on it. I don't care. I'm like, why is this in my Twitter feed? I don't follow PayPal. I don't care. And that's a lot of what happens with social networks. We don't care 99% of the time. We just don't. And that's
because it's not specific to what we're doing, you know?
yeah. So having a targeted social network, that's kind of my point, and you get it. Having a targeted social network is for us anyway, the way to go. Now we're just not going to see about crap. For marketers, it does suck. My marketing example is trashed. It does because marketers want to target literally everybody.
Everybody.
You know, they'll say, "Oh, you should target your audience and the people who are going to be interested in your product," but the guy who's cooking could be interested in a video game. He just chose to, join a cooking social network. But anyway, example aside, I wanted to get to the next social network on the list here. Steam.
Steam has developed a really big social network. I remember when they were just a place to download your games. It really didn't have much of a social aspect to it other than maybe even chat. That's probably about it. But man, they're really going wildfire on the social media.
Yes. I'm very impressed with Steam, and I didn't think I would be. We've had our friend Weem on the show. He is a fellow YouTuber, a friend of ours. He's a game developer. He's all kinds of stuff. And something Weem loves to do is talk about, YouTube and help smaller YouTubers grow. And he's seen a ton of success. He's worked in marketing. He knows what he's doing. And he's helped me a lot. And part of his advice was, why not rate the games that you're playing? Because Steam is a big social network. If you mention that you have a video, people are going to go to your channel because they want to know more about the game. Oh, he has a video. And then the best part is if you link your video, bam, thumbnail.
Yeah.
In the freaking review for this game.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It used to be just a link. Now they're actually putting a whole thumbnail with the description of your video in there. It takes the description from your YouTube description and puts it in there. Just cool.
It's awesome. Like, Steam is developing within its own, it's already a giant store for video games. You already have your audience, and you've been building that audience for years. And then, little by little, they're just slipping in. There's some forums. Oh, now there's an activity feed. Now there's leveling. Now there's incentive to use it. And now it's snowballed into something that people don't even realize they're doing it. You can set your homepage to the activity feed, for example, and if they do that, they'll see that I'm now publishing videos to Steam. After I make a video, I can go into Steam and tell Steam I made that video, and it'll just put it on my activity feed. And if people come to if they search for Vortac and they see I have videos, now all the videos I want people to see are there.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. And it doesn't, it's not like in your face. For me, my homepage, and I think a lot of people, it's the store. But once you start to dive into their social network, you start to get wrapped up in it. Like, wow, there's a lot here, and there's tons and tons and tons of people using it, and I didn't even know that. And Weem showed me that.
Yeah, it's now they got the curator thing, where these specific. I think anybody who's. I'm not sure if there's actually a limitation on who can be a curator or not. I'm not sure how that works, but anyway, some of your like for instance, you mentioned Paul Soares Jr. He's a curator on Steam, and what he does is, basically he's like a reviewer of games, and he'll do videos of it and everything, and so all of anything that he has to say about a game is mentioned in Steam. And as a curator, his is obviously put up at the top.
Yeah.
To see. Oh, yeah, that's if you're following him. If you're following him on Steam, then it'll pop up there.
People gave the curator stuff a lot of crap too. People were like, "Why do we have this now?" Now they complain because I was kind of with them at first. I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
I was too. Until I clicked on one. Until I clicked on one and said, "Oh, I want to check out this game. Let me see what this curator has to say." And it pops up his YouTube video and all that stuff, and I was able to watch it and go, "Oh, this is nice. I don't have to go to YouTube and try to search for it. I could just go through and click on the curator's videos and watch them."
Yeah.
It's awesome.
People were saying, "Why do I care what so-and-so recommends?" Obviously, this is just another way for dirt. And I don't know. They were just going on, and it was just a lot of crap being said about it. And at first I was kind of like, yeah, why, if you follow all these curators, you're just spamming your own feed, and really. But curators, it's not for the problem was YouTubers were going out and being like, hey, follow me as a curator on Steam, please. Not even YouTubers, just gamers, just anyone was like, follow me. It was just a popularity contest out of the gate. That's not what it was meant for. If let's say people are watching my YouTube videos and they want to know what other things I would recommend they try, they'd follow my Steam curator. And every time, even if I don't make a video about it, like there's a lot of games I play that I can't really see making a video about because it's just not my style, but I like the game. I can make it, I recommend it, and I can even write a little description and whatever, why I recommend it. It doesn't have to be tied to a video.
And these curators build their own bridges. I mean, if they're really out there just to try to gain followers or subscribers for the YouTube channel, nobody's going to give them, the benefit of the doubt of whatever game they're reviewing. So it's just like anything else. I mean, if you're going to review a game, and if the guy doesn't do good reviews, nobody's going to follow him or want to be a part of that. And so it's the same thing with the curators. I mean, if the curator is just trying to use the system, it's going to be known, and nobody's going to really pay attention to him. Like, oh, it's that guy. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's not
I don't care what he
for
says.
growing yourself as
they don't make money or anything off of it.
Yeah.
No.
It's for people who already have an established audience and they want to help that audience who wants the help. It's not
right.
It's not like, oh, follow me as a curator because I'm the best curator. There's no best curator.
It's not a guy with 10 subscribers on YouTube or what I mean? These are people that have already been established, already have a lot of follower base, and it's beneficial to hear what they have to say because they play a lot of games and they do a lot of videos. And if you respect them as a YouTuber or you respect them as a game reviewer, then you'll respect them as a curator in Steam. And so that's the way I look at it. I mean, Paul Soares Jr. has not led me astray in any way. All the games that he's ever reviewed have always been how he said it. And he's not afraid to say whether he doesn't like this or doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Although he
wouldn't curate that game if he didn't like it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. He's not Total Biscuit, but
yeah.
But I mean, he does. I mean, if he doesn't like it, he ain't gonna put it in there. So, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Total Biscuit's ruthless, and maybe he's a curator on Steam, but you're not going to see him add a title to his library just so he can bash it. That's not what it's for. So
no,
it's just a nice thing to add to Steam's social network presence. It wasn't they made a big deal at first, but anything new, there's going to be a hype around it. And people just didn't understand it. And after looking into it more, I kind of understand it now. I get it. I understand that. Like we said, it's for people who already have an audience, and it's to help that audience. It's not to gain a new audience. Ooh, this is a really good curator. He recommends all the games I like.
Right.
If you have all these games in mind that you like, you don't need a curator to recommend them.
Yeah.
So, that's just my opinion. But it's cool. I love that for all these games. Like, for example, when I was playing Tug, I went on the forums for Tug, but not Tug's forums. Within Steam, there's a Tug forum. Just because the game is on Steam, it has its own forum. So there are discussions going on about this game in the same place where I bought the game.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere else. It's right there.
And their forum is good too, but that's just another website you have to visit.
That's a larger forum involving a lot more detailed stuff. But they have, like, for instance, game developers, they have a website and they have a specific, whatever part of the forum they want that's specifically like their Steam link or whatever. And you can go to their website and read the same exact posts that they made in Steam because they got them linked. So it's not like you're missing something out if you don't go to their website. You're going to see the same thing in Steam as well.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it really nice. Like all the details about game patches and things like that are going to be right there in Steam. They're going to be also on their website. It's basically the same information. So you don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you can use Big Picture with Steam and not have to worry about going and tabbing out to a website.
It's awesome. And you know what? Steam kind of, like they do with a lot of things, they got there first. And that's why we're not going to see a successful Origin social network or a successful Uplay social network, even though they try. Like, everything is trying to have its own social network, which is pretty annoying and sad.
See, here's where Steam got it right. They actually allowed other gaming developers and companies to sell their product on their site, and they've opened the door for indie games and such. Whereas Origin or Uplay or stuff like that, they only sell their games. Now I don't know. I haven't been on any of them in a long time. Maybe they're selling other people's games. I'm not sure, but from the last time I've checked, they've only sold their games. And Steam, you got to remember, was Valve who made Left 4 Dead 4, Left 4 Dead 2, Half-Life, all those games, and that was the whole purpose of their Steam network. That was their protection from, content ID theft and things like that. So they came up with this system, and they just opened the doors for other developers to put their games in there. And I think that was the greatest thing they ever did. And that's how come they blossomed the way they did.
I love Steam, and I love the way Steam does it. And Steam is like, because I'm not using Xbox anymore, Steam is like my new Xbox. I turn it on, all my friends are there, I can message them, I can start a game and just invite them to it, just like any other console. Yeah. And Steam's it's like a social network, but it's also so much more. And what's kind of like agitating is like Uplay with Ubisoft is doing. They make you make an account, and they track your stuff, and I think you can even visit with people in their own. They're trying to be their own Steam, but for only their games. And it's kind of too late, because
it is.
Even if you're open to having more developers, everyone wants to get on Steam. I'm following devs on Twitter, and all they talk about is, I want to get on Greenlight, and I want my game to be greenlit so bad, because
these companies
the most traffic, it's where everyone is.
And these companies that made their own clients have pulled their product from Steam. Stupid. So except for obviously the content that Steam has already, that they've had for years or whatever through these companies, they still have. So you can still get them, and sometimes like for instance, Sims 2 I think is in there, and that's an EA game. So you couldn't get Sims 4 in there, could you?
No,
in Steam? No,
Origin
you have to,
took it. They don't want it.
Exclusively Origin. So, that's the thing. Now you have to have two clients open, and just to run a stupid game because they decided to make their own, which isn't going to go anywhere. So just stop. Might as well just close, just like Microsoft Live games or Windows Games Live close theirs. You close yours too. Get out of here.
Yeah,
we don't need it. We got Steam.
And that's it's sad, because people are wasting money on that. People are wasting man hours on that, and everyone's just like, please stop, Origin. Come on. And Origin's, they're trying. I don't hate them as much, only because I just decided not to worry about it. I know I have to have Origin to play certain games. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time hating it. Like, whatever. And I like that sometimes they offer free games. That's pretty cool. They're trying to kind of do what PlayStation and Xbox do from time to time. Sometimes they're good games. I got Peggle that way. I never played Peggle. I'm like, oh, Peggle. Everyone's talked about this. I should play it. Awesome. I played it through in one night. I was addicted. And and yeah, like, they do some cool stuff. But for the most part, I wish I could get Sims 4 on Steam, and I wish it wouldn't try to open Origin if I did get Sims 4 on Steam.
Yeah.
But, it's just it's the world we live in. Look at Netflix and Hulu and Amazon all fighting over exclusivity contracts.
True.
And you have to get every service.
Competition.
Yeah, you have to get every service if you want to watch everything. Everyone wants their own exclusive thing. And one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to get so much content that it's worth having every service, Oh, I want to watch, there's a billion shows that I can watch on Netflix now. They're all exclusive. There's a billion shows I can watch on Hulu because they're all exclusive. And there's a billion shows I can watch on Amazon. They're all exclusive. Now it's worth it. Now you have 3 billion different shows to choose from. But there's not enough content right now to justify getting all these services. And it's the same way with gaming. There are plenty of games out, but most developers want to be on all the markets. So there's no point in getting all these services and wasting precious hard drive space on all of these stupid clients.
Let me share with you what I got right now. Okay, watch this. Check this out. I've got Battle.net, Desura, Uplay, OnLive, My.com Games, Arc, Origin, Glyph. What else do I got
Battle.net?
here? Steam. I already mentioned Battle.net. I mean, I've got
Okay.
all those that I have in order to access certain games that I play.
Yeah.
Because these guys decided not to allow Steam to have their content on there. And so now I have to open that up. I don't know if I got it. That's all. I think that's the only ones I got. But,
But-
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 different. Well, OnLive.com I can't really count as that because they're kind of like Steam, but
different.
they're streaming.
Here's I'm going to play devil's advocate with us right now, because what we're saying is all these people shouldn't have their own thing because it's dumb. But we did just say only moments ago that it's kind of cool there are social networks that focus on one niche.
And that's why we got Player.me, because now we can link those into one.
Yes, but what I'm saying is we're snubbing game developers for doing it, but not social networks.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
interesting because I'll still stand by it. Like, I still believe that all these games, it'd be nice if all the games were in one store. And I think the difference is consumerism versus social networking. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a competition. There has to be. I mean, that's sort of capitalist. You know, that's where capitalism is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's no monopolies, and so we have to have that competition out there. It just really sucks for us. I mean, for a social. You know, let's face it. Facebook won
yeah.
the social media war when it came to things like Facebook. MySpace is gone. There were several others that were probably out there that we never even heard of because they were so small. Facebook won. Okay, I don't think anybody's ever competed except for Google Plus right now when it comes to that. So, you know, there's got to be. I would like it if there was just one, but at the same time, it's nice that there's different.
Basically, it's nice to have one thing that focuses on one thing. So Player.me focuses on just gaming. Steam focuses on just gaming. But when we have to have Battle.net to do World of Warcraft, when we have to have Glyph to do all the, their games, we have to have Origin to do all their games. Now we're opening all these different, like we said before, all these different clients.
But the thing is, what they're doing is they're making social networks out of them, which makes it really hard for us because now we got to be a part of all these different networks.
Yeah.
That are separated and whatever, and it's kind of like.
I think the reason that we're annoyed by the gaming clients versus many different social networks, like let's say this happened, like all social networks split up into one niche. We have the gaming one, the cooking one, the whatever, If they all split up like that, you'd have to join. Okay, I'm interested in gaming. I'm interested in cooking. I'm interested in tech news. I want to follow every social network and interact with all these people. Now I'm pissed. I have all these social networks, but that's different because we're trying to. If you're someone who makes tech gadgets, you want to reach people who are going to be interested in them. Again, a bad example, but you see my point. Like that's about marketing and trying to get customers. And then the marketplaces, I'm still not getting my point across, I feel like. But I think you still get. Are you with me?
Kinda.
I'm going to let you speak for everyone else because I'm just wrapping myself up in my own mind.
No, I think the thing that the thing that I hate about it is I mean, one thing I really hate about it is the fact that I got to have several clients open for one game, and that really bugs the hell out of me. And that's kind of changing because, again, all these clients are now, you can only get them specifically from them. So you're not going to have that problem where you got Steam and this open at the same time with the newer games. It's just not going to happen anymore. But what I hate is the fact that I'm part of all these different social networks. I've got my name out there in all these different ones, and so in order to interact with those people that are specific to those social networks, I have to be engaged in that. So I have to, if I tweet something, I have to make sure that I go to all these social networks to let them know this is, whatever. But that's on our end because we're kind of like the people who
we can link
put things out there. Yeah, we can link a lot of them. But for the common user, like somebody who just plays games, I guess it would be all right. It wouldn't be a problem. You got friends that are on Desura, and you got friends that are on Steam. It's not a problem for them. But for us that are trying to get our product out there, so to speak, whatever it might be, whether it be, hey, I'm streaming this video today or whatever, information we might send out there to our people who we know follow us or like us. It's harder because now we gotta put that in stuff, and unless it's linked, we gotta put all that stuff in all these different social networks just to get our point across.
Yeah.
And
we're comparing places where we spend our money to places where we don't. And I think that's my problem right now, because I keep thinking, why is that annoying? But I don't know. It just is. I like having Player ME because it links things. Really, that's all it does. It's a social network in itself, but it links all my other social networks.
Doesn't it also, if you put something, if you're on Player.me and you like say something in there, doesn't it also send a tweet automatically for you?
I haven't tried that. I usually just tweet and it goes to Player ME.
Oh, it goes the other way around.
But maybe you're right. Maybe you can type something in Player ME.
Because I had to authorize Twitter. I had to authorize Player.me. Yeah, so it could. That'd be awesome. Just go to Player.me and put everything I need, and it'll go boop 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 and send everything.
Maybe my tweets don't show up in there. I don't know. I usually use it for YouTube stuff. I focus a lot on that. So I like it because like we said before, you mentioned it. The sub box has been broken on YouTube. It doesn't work like it used to. Now the people you subscribe to, if they use Player ME, that's a much more efficient way to see what they upload in real time.
It's right there. Yep.
Yeah. But there's another social network I wanted to get to. A new one that I was introduced to recently was Playfire. And that one is actually by another gaming store known as Green Man Gaming. And what they do is kind of cool. Like, if you do things within Playfire, sometimes you get credits to use in their store to buy games. But they're not competing with Steam. They're kind of working with Steam. Like, so I linked my Steam account to my Playfire account. And it took about an hour, but then it pulled all of my info. So now it knows how many games I have and how many hours I've put in those games. And it keeps track of all that. And it's kind of a way to share with your followers or your friends or whoever what you're doing in games and, stuff like that.
Well, there was another one that came out a few years ago called Raptor that kind of did the same thing. That's why I had mentioned before we started the show about Raptor.
Yeah.
And this is very similar to it, where Raptor, what they have is they have some kind of relationship with Steam, where if you, or some of the game developers, where if you play a game a certain length of time, you put so many hours into this game, you get an achievement, and with that achievement comes like a gift, which would be like in-game mount or whatever. And so you get special rewards for that. And it looks like Playfire is very similar to it, and I saw it, and I thought, wow, this is really cool. And for it to be linked to an actual store, which is linked to actual Steam, that strikes my interest because, sometimes with some of these sites you can get a much more better discount than what Steam would offer.
The simplest way to describe Playfire is, when you join a forum and you have to make an account and you can set like an avatar and you can set like a description for who you are. And let's say the forum is about cars. So you can make a little picture of you driving a car, and and I love Hondas. They're awesome.
With a Luigi death look. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I heart Hondas. I'm a Honda guy. If you ask a question about Honda, I'll answer it. That's your description, whatever. And then you go on the forums and you talk and you do whatever. Playfire is kind of a focus on that profile with a forum attached to it. So first is your profile with all of the latest news and updates, but then you can go to discussions in the forum and stuff and talk about whatever. You can just start a discussion on this like open forum. And that's how you would, in theory, get your name out there, maybe make some more friends. And I really like that because Twitter doesn't have that. You don't have like forums on Twitter. You just have the tiny little space where you say something with a hashtag.
140 characters, that's it.
And no one really goes into Discover to even see those hashtags, so they're kind of useless. And I'm sure that's wrong on many levels. But for gamers, I was made fun of when I was poking through like Discover. My girlfriend, she's like, "You use that? That's dumb." I don't know. But anyway, I like Playfire because it's more about community than a lot of other social networks. Even Playfire doesn't seem to have its own like it just works different. I can use both I'm sorry, did I say Playfire? I meant Player ME.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Playfire has a forum. Player ME does not. Player ME links all your social networks into one. Playfire is about discussion and community. And I can join both of these and not feel overwhelmed, even though they're technically two gaming social networks. So
I see what you mean, yes.
Yeah.
And you can even put this as a link in your player.me if people want to come to your community in Playfire.
Yeah. I mean, it's just cool. I love that there are, right off the bat, we have 3 giant gaming social networks just targeted to gaming. You can join one, you can join all, and either way, you don't feel overwhelmed. I'm on all of these, and I can make this. You know how like you get on the internet and you just start your general browsing. Like first you check your Facebook timeline, then you check your Twitter feed,
Twitter feed,
check Google Plus. But there's never anything interesting. Instead, I could replace each one of those. Well, probably not Twitter. I love Twitter, but I can replace most of those with these gaming social networks. Okay, I'll check my Steam. What are my friends up to? Anyone playing anything fun? No. Okay, what's going on Playfire? Oh, a new discussion about the new Borderlands game. What do people have to say about that? I haven't even looked at it yet. And then go to Player ME. Ooh, my favorite YouTuber posted a video, and like I'm getting
it's right there.
Yeah, I'm getting 3 different types of content, but they're about one thing. They're about video games. So. Yeah. I don't know.
That's true.
I thought this would be like a fun show, and I think it was.
I think so too. We definitely need a Facebook for gaming. That's for sure. No, I don't mean in that sense. I mean I'm talking about like a one thing that will allow us to share our ideas, hook up with friends to play games, to chat with, things like that. And Playfire seems to be that. I didn't mean Facebook.
I thought you meant another one. I'm like, what?
No.
What are we even talking about?
I meant a social network for gamers.
Yeah.
That is specifically for gaming. So you don't have to have a Facebook account. You don't have to have a Google Plus account. You could just have a gamer account, and everybody that wants to know about you can go there. And gamers are going to go where gamers are. I mean, your Facebook is for your family and all that stuff, but when you're specifically wanting to, talk about games, you need that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to sign up.
It's cool. I mean, I didn't even realize there were these networks. Everyone tells me for marketing advice. Use Facebook, use Twitter, use Google Plus, use all the general ones. Use Pinterest if you have to get your stuff out there. But it's like putting up a video on YouTube and then hoping it gets views just because you put it there.
Well, a great example. I mean, I got coworkers at work, and I get excited when I put up a video or whatever, and it's something that I do. I love gaming, and I talk about stuff like that. They're not interested in that. They don't, I mean, there's a couple that are, but I mean, there's one guy that just isn't interested. I wanted to show him the video, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm not really into this," and they're not into it. It's not something, so I can't really, talk about games with this person. So I feel like, but when I'm a part of a social network that's for gamers, it's kind of the same way. You want to talk about games.
Yeah.
You want to deal, whatever. But when you're on Facebook and you mention games on there with all your friends and family, they're all like, we don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't share my YouTube videos with Facebook family and friends because they don't want to hear it. Like they're gonna give me either the fake, "Oh, that was fun, I watched it, cool," support, or they're just going to ignore it, or it's going to get lost in the feed anyway because Facebook chooses what people get to see. So, and don't even get me started. But we have less than like 20 minutes left, and there's a couple more things I want to get to. Real quick,
sure.
Let's do the Indie Spotlight for this week.
Awesome games you've probably never heard of. It's time for the Indie Spotlight.
Well, we'll keep it short. This week's Indie Spotlight is Rising World. I'm obsessed. I got Dreadlow obsessed. It's
Oh.
freaking awesome. And I mean, we've talked about it numerous times. Everyone has. You see a game like Minecraft, and you're like, ooh, this would be really cool if it looked more realistic. What's going to be the next Minecraft? If. And I'm not saying that Rising World is going to be the next Minecraft, but if you are looking for a game that involves building and crafting and exploring, but with more realistic graphics, Rising World's a good place to start. And I have already 2 videos up. I have a whole playlist, though, that I'm building, and it's a lot of fun. The mechanics of the game, I can't really describe it, but if you try to play other games that look like it, they just overthink it. But Rising World does a really good job, like with mining. You mine as fast as you do in Minecraft, but you're not taking out chunks of blocks. You're taking out just realistic chunks of the land that you're mining. But you know what I mean? It's just like in other games, if you want to mine, some of them like Worm Online, you had to sit there for like 20 frickin' seconds to mine away one chunk, and it took out like a giant block. You know, everything is in blocks because blocks are really easy to work with. This game still works in blocks in terms of building, but if you want to make a block, you have to make a block bench and then craft the actual cube. Cubes don't just randomly spawn. You know,
kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes absolute. Now I can accept building with cubes because that's what the game has to offer. In the future, maybe they'll add even more benches that make different shapes other than cubes, and I can accept those because I made them out of my.
You crafted them yourself.
Yes.
You crafted the chunk of whatever, or the wood, and you've cut it into whatever form you wanted, a block or whatever, with another bench. So it's not like, it's not like a crafted bench. You set it down, you put a piece of wood in there, and it just turns into blocks. Yeah. Or anything you dig up turns into blocks, which I'm not bagging. I love Minecraft. Minecraft's one of my favorite games. But I'm just saying that it's a game that I'll still continue to play, and it's a game that's really awesome. But I do like the idea, because I've always mentioned it. Why doesn't Minecraft have this? Why doesn't Minecraft do this? Or Minecraft do this? Game seems to have done that. It's taken those things that we've always wished Minecraft had in it and has it, and yet it still stays true to kind of like the features of Minecraft in a sense too. Because it's going to have animals and monsters as well. It's going to have power. We're going to have it's going to be redstone. It's going to be like electricity, wiring, and what have you. So I mean, there's a lot of things in there that's going to be familiar to a regular Minecraft player, but yet it's going to be a more realistic world. And I know we have countless numbers of games that are like that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's so many games out there that are similar, but they all have their own little twist to it. And I don't want the twists. I want Minecraft, but in a kind of realistic world. And I'll still play Minecraft, but sometimes I like to just go into a realistic world and just play Minecraft like that. You know? And this game has that. And that's what I like about it.
I'm going to link my videos in the show notes on everythingnoob.com. Be sure to check them out if you're interested. The game is like $15 on Steam right now, and they're in alpha, but the alpha is super polished and really nice. So that is a spotlight.
When they put it out at the time you should put out an early access game.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yes. And then I wanted to get to our noobs in chat joining us live on Twitch TV as well.
Let's hear from the Noob Nation.
We're stuffing all these segments into the end of the show. No need to rush. I'm apologizing left and right for that. But we are short on time, and there's some really good discussion going on in chat tonight. Real quick shout out to Jake, Dark Waters. We have Jem's Mumsy. Jemmy is sick this evening, unfortunately. Be sure to join us every week. We go live on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on Twitch TV. So twitch.tv/enoobs is the link. Also go to everythingnoob.com for that link. Ronix said hi to us. Hello to Ronix. I'm not sure if she's still here. But
we got Crazy Guy Pete. He's somebody I actually know in real life. So welcome, Crazy Eye Pete.
Yes. So Dark Waters said, I just turned 21 yesterday, and I was wondering, what is a good game to turn into a drinking game with some friends? And oh man, that could be any multiplayer game. I think could do it. I think going off of some new stuff, Super Smash Bros. If you get kicked off the map, you take a drink.
Yeah.
Family-friendly game
You
turned
can-
into an awful drinking nightmare.
You can turn it. I know I've seen some streams like World of Warcraft where people would every time they died, they'd take a shot. Like when they go into like a heroic dungeon or something. So I mean, you can turn anything to a drinking game, really.
Yeah.
Just come up with some things that you have to do or things that you shouldn't or can't do, and if you do them, you drink.
Yeah. And happy birthday to Dark Waters. 21 is awesome, and it's all downhill from here, my friend.
Yeah.
Dreadlow promises you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was just uncalled for.
Yeah, it is.
You're like, yeah, I hate you now. I'm never coming back.
No.
We have, let's see, Crazy Eye Pete suggested TF2, Counter-Strike Go, all kinds of, Death Equals Drink. That's not a bad idea. I'm more of a Nintendo gamer. So there you go, Dark Waters. My Super Smash Bros. Should help you out there. Let's see, what else is going on in chat here? Dark Waters also said, another thing with YouTube gamers, why are they more popular than others? Who decides it? And that's kind of like why is PewDiePie, for instance, like the shiznit. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with marketing. These are people who just did it right or they got there first. Like the reason we all say Steam is like the bee's knees is because Steam got there first. They made their store, they opened up to developers, and even if they weren't the first ones, they were the first ones to do it right. And that's why we still use it today. Just like PewDiePie was the first person to do it right. And there are plenty of people who are very popular and very successful on YouTube, but everyone defers to him like he was just an episode of South Park. And that's because he's the number one gaming YouTuber. There's no competition. It's just that's what it is. He has 30 million freaking subscribers, I think, or something like that.
It's funny because you sit there and you watch a guy and you think, there's no real reason why.
Exactly. He's not doing anything I don't do, except
Exactly.
people like him for different reasons than they like me.
Yeah.
But it's all about...
My name is PewDiePie.
PewDiePie. He got there first. He did something catchy. He marketed himself and he did it right. And that's...
Right.
The only person who determines your popularity is you. That's
Yeah.
my theory. You are the reason you were popular, or you are the reason you were unpopular. You're unpopular because maybe you're not likable. Maybe no one likes someone who cusses a lot and has a bad attitude, or maybe you're not unlikable. You just haven't marketed yourself. You haven't done the right things.
I was going to say, but then again, there's a niche for everybody. I mean, if you're the kind of guy who likes to cuss and put down his community, and people like that, and he'll have a bunch of followers that like him for that. See? So, I mean, there's always something. But I think it's all about marketing, like you said.
Yeah.
And you can market yourself. You could be the worst person in the world and still market yourself.
I'm being corrected saying Tobuscus was before PewDiePie, but my point is, like, these are people who just did it right. Maybe they weren't first, whatever, but they're very popular.
But Tobuscus didn't do games until not too long ago.
Oh.
I think PewDiePie was doing games.
So Tobuscus did other things and then
he used to do his lazy vlogs and things like that.
Okay.
He was kind of like a iJustine. He was kind of like an iJustine type person.
So it's just the point is marketing. It's what it all comes down to, and that relates back to our social networking topic. And that's why marketers will tell you need to be on the biggest social networks and all of them always, and you always need to be interacting and engaging. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I think that these gaming social networks are a great start because if they get popular, more like I'm talking Twitter popular, they're never going to be, as popular as Twitter because it's about a niche, and that the people who make these networks need to understand that. There are people who just do not like video games and will never join Player ME, even if it becomes the number one gaming social network or Playfire, whatever.
Because they're following that person.
Yes. But if 30 million people...
They don't care what they do.
If 30 million people can subscribe to PewDiePie at one point or another, that means they liked watching him play games, which means they like video games, which means those are the people that Player ME should target. And that way, the next PewDiePie, when that person goes to put their content out there and try to reach an audience, they're going to go to Player ME because that is the place, to reach your audience.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's a really good we're off to a really good start with gaming social networks, and I just hope to see them grow. Playfire is just awesome. I love the discussions. There are people who like to read like longer posts than how many characters Twitter has, 100 something or whatever. And it's so cool to be able to have these different diverse social networks. And we have Instagram and Pinterest. And what's another photo social network? I think there's another one.
I mean, there's some mobile ones like Snapchat and things like that that actually have become. It used to be just a little chatting program. It's become so much more. I mean, everybody that I've come in contact with, hey, you got a Snapchat? It's like, what? No.
Yeah.
I don't want to put myself out there like that.
Yeah, I don't want to see people's wieners in my. People at work use Snapchat, and I'm like, why are you admitting to using Snapchat? I every time I heard the word Snapchat, it was related to like a sexting app. It was this dirty thing, and now people just
took
it on as
bad.
Well, people took it on as like I think it was really meant for that, and now people use it as just a picture sharing app.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
think you're right.
That was the rumor when Snapchat first got popular. It's like it's a sexting app, and they even have some like discreet things in their description about it.
Because you can't save them.
DVR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't save them. Once you view them, that's it.
Imgur.
It's erased.
So anyway, my point with the different photo social networks is we subscribe to like all of them still because they all offer something different. There's nothing wrong with having multiple networks of one niche. Like if we're talking photos as a niche, there you go. But I'm talking like gaming, There's nothing wrong with having different social networks and joining all of them. So if you're a gamer and you want to market yourself, I'd recommend Twitter, PlayerMe, Playfire, and Steam as your 4 main ones.
Right. And if you've got a YouTube account, you can link your Google Plus to it and then have it on player.me so people can get to it if you want to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because the only reason why I say that is because I've been noticing a lot. Anybody who's got a YouTube channel has a Google Plus account automatically, obviously. You can't have one without the...
Yeah, Google Plus. Sticking its dirty butt and everything. Yeah. I like it, though.
So, yeah, and it works. It really does. I mean, I can go to Google Plus and click on videos, and there's all my videos, or all somebody's videos that I want to watch.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier for me to view YouTube.
So, tailored social networks. Unfortunately, we are out of time for this evening. But join us next week. We're going to get really close to Christmas here, and we're going to start talking, especially towards the end of the year, the top games of 2014. We tried that last year, and we'll try to improve on the way we did that. And we'll be talking about games coming out for the holidays and things we're playing and things we're excited to see and buy and hopefully get under the Christmas tree and things like that. So.
And check us out on player.me as well. You'll find all of our social network there, so that way it's much easier. I'm starting to stream now again. Vortag does his stuff, so it's all there. Player.me/Dreadlo Gaming and player.me/Vortag.
Yes.
All right.
We got to make sure. I think Jemmy has one. So if
I didn't see her. I tried to find her to follow her, and I didn't see her on there. I tried different aspects of her username and couldn't find it. So when she gets on there, we'll get her out there too. But it's just so much easier to say that.
Yeah.
Than to sit there and go, I'm on YouTube, I'm on this, I'm on that.
Yeah. Find me on PlayerMe. But I say find us on everythingnoob.com. That's where we have all our stuff.
There you go. I've got that link on there as well.
Thank you so much. We will see you next week.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Everything Noob podcast. Hit up everythingnoob.com for our show notes, blogs, YouTube and Twitch channels, previous episodes, and even a t-shirt store. Please game responsibly, and we'll see you next week.